And what got my drug of choice was opiates, and what got me here, I guess, when I started going to college. Well, I went 2 years of college first, and when I was about 20 or 21, I just bought some pills in the parking lot from college, and the first time I did it, it was just made me feel better than anything else I ever had, and I just kind of took off with it. It was, my first thought was, this is how I want to feel all the time, every day, and I made it happen. Yeah, well, you know, it's sustainable for a little while, because, you know, you can function and do it until, you know, you get to a certain point. I got there fairly fast because, like I said, I was making sure I felt that way every day. And with those, it doesn't take long. They're basically designed to addict you. I mean, that's pharmaceutical industry works. So it took me completely downhill. I went to rehab the first time, 2013, and I had never shot or used needles or anything like that. And I got out. I only stayed for 2.5 weeks. I left, and it didn't take long. It took about a month, and I was right back to it. And this second time, it was, you know, you relapse. I was right back where I was within a week almost. And then I started using needles the second time after I relapsed. I went back to rehab, the same one, New Year's Eve of 2014 to 2015. And when I came out of there, the doctor over there told me I was going to be on Suboxone for the rest of my life at 24 years old, 24, yeah. I was going to turn 25 that year. And so I left there. I stayed 30 days. When I left there, I was still on Suboxone. I stayed on it for 8 months, and I detoxed myself off of it by tapering down. Yeah, and Suboxone was harder to come off of than anything else ever that I've ever come off of. And I was able to stay sober for another 1.5 years. I was sober for just over 2 years that time, but it was absolutely miserable. It was white knuckling, as they say. And I was just not happy. I didn't want to go to work. I didn't know how to have any fun. I was still just totally stuck in addiction, basically, just without the substance being there. And it was only a matter of time before I relapsed. And of course, I relapsed right away, and it doesn't take long to get right back where you were. And I was just so depressed. I had just given up on life and everything. The only reason I was staying alive was for my mom. I'd lost all hope whatsoever. I didn't see any kind of future for me whatsoever. You know, I was a drug addict, and that was it. And I just thought it was over. I wanted to be clean off everything, and I didn't feel any better with it. I really didn't. I was pretty much just as miserable on it as I was on dope, except I wasn't getting high. And so there was no plus side to it. And so I had to come off of it. What got me here, just 4 years of utter everything. You know, I mean, I sold my house, I pawned my Rolex. I had nice things over the 2 years I got sober. I was working and traveling. I totally hit rock bottom this time, where there was no hope and no other option for me. And finally I just came and I went to my mom and I said, I need help. You know, you find me somewhere to go. And there's nothing wrong with the place I went to, it just didn't work for me. And so we looked outside the box, and that's how we found this place. The holistic view, I'm more focused on how to live a better life. I'd been in addiction and drugs for so long that, like I said, I didn't know how to live. I didn't know how to be happy. I didn't know how to have fun. And so I needed more than just addiction treatment. I needed life treatment. I needed to learn how to live again. And then, you know, when I came off the Suboxone, I learned real quickly that it wasn't just that was causing me problems. Yeah, the biggest difference is the people. There's a lot of rehab facilities that are nice and by the water and good weather and stuff like that. You can build a building anywhere, but the people that you fill it with are what make the difference here. You know, I do live here, but that's not why I came here. Not even close. My mom made the first phone call here, and when she talked to Kat, it was totally different than anywhere else we had talked to. Everywhere else we talked to, one of the first questions is, what kind of insurance do you have? She must have talked to Kat for 30 or 45 minutes, and it was all about me and my past and what I needed and what I was wanting to get out of it, and that's what sealed the deal. But, you know, this last time I was using, I had such a bad habit. I mean, I was doing $400 or $500 worth of dope every day. You know, it was not sustainable. I was so miserable that complete surrender. I was willing to do anything, no matter what it took. And so, and I had been sick so much. I mean, every 8 hours I felt like I was dying on the outside. And so whatever I had to get to, whether it took me a week or 2 months to detox, I didn't care this time, whatever it took. I didn't sleep for like a month. I didn't even start detoxing until like the 4th day I was here because there was so much built up in my system, and it was nothing but fentanyl. That's all it was. The regular heroin wouldn't even work for me anymore, which blew my mind. But that's how it was. I mean, unless I was like 24 hours sick, it wouldn't work. It was fentanyl had to be it. And so the long half-life of that and everything, I didn't sleep for a month. When I first came here, I lost 24 pounds in 2 weeks. I couldn't eat anything. I was drinking Ensure and just throwing up. It was miserable. But, I just did what I had to do. I got up, I went to neuro, did sauna, I went to classes. I just did what they told me to do. I was kind of in a trance. I was so sick, but I knew I was in the right place, and that's because of the people here. I can't say enough about them. I really can't. But, yeah, I mean, as soon as I got here, Brenda was amazing. She was always taking care of me. All the staff, really. They were making sure I ate, make sure I was drinking water. Even if I couldn't, they would stay on top of me just to keep me healthy. And they were so nice about it. There was never a mean word or, anything. And they could tell I was willing. I was just hurting, and they helped me a lot. Yeah, when you first get here, you have plenty of time to adjust. You do. And the fact that it's a 60-day program, I think everybody needs 60 days. I had done the shorter programs twice, and when I left, I was still detoxing. I mean, literally, still in pretty much full-blown detox. I mean, you have a couple up days, at the end of the first month, but I was still detoxing. And here, the first week you have neuro, and then the next 2 weeks you have spa. And it just gives you time to get where you need to be mentally so that you can absorb the information in classes. And by the time you get out of that, you'll be into it and you want to go. You don't just have to go. You want to get the most out of it you can because you start feeling better. And so that time that they give you, for the mornings so you don't have to wake up and get right to it is really important. Yeah, they put 2 books in your basket when you first get here. One's the Inside Out Principle, and that's one of my favorite books. That just got me into the mindset of the program, first of all. And all the books they have here are extremely interesting, and they're all about how to live a better life. And they also have scientific books here, which I'm interested in. I read Biocentrism also, and it's just a totally different outlook on life and the planet. And it helped me be spiritually okay, which I've never been before. That's the most important thing I got out of this program was my spirituality. I've never had it before, never, not even from a young age. I just always had too many questions, and wasn't able to trust myself. And for me, that's what being spiritually okay means to me, was that I can trust myself now. I can trust that inner voice and know that it's leading me the right way. It's kind of for me, it was, I guess, a little bit of a process. The realization of it was instant. People talk about the come to Jesus moment, and I did have it, but it was more so I had it because I pulled back and I started connecting the dots. And so it was a process. But once you realize that you have it and you start trusting yourself, that's really that moment where things start to shift, or did for me. It was always, yelling at me nonstop. Okay. It was always there. It's just easy to think my way out of it. I always thought that I just didn't trust myself. I thought that I always needed somebody else to tell me what to do, and I do need other people to help me and relate with me. But I can listen to myself and know what's right and wrong. It probably wasn't until about 2 weeks ago, because I've done this before, and my mom also dealt with my dad. My mom doesn't drink. She smokes cigarettes, like a half a pack a day, and that's it. She's never had anything that made her feel better than she felt naturally. And I never understood that until now. Never understood that until now. It blew me away. But yeah, she definitely has noticed the difference. She says I'm happier now, right this moment, than I've ever been in my entire life, and it's true. Even when I was successful at a very young age. I was running the junior golf program, first tee in Northwest Florida here. At 18 years old, I was a tournament director. I had a lot of responsibility. I was going to college. I was also working for the family company too. And it was just a lot. And so when I found a way to numb out, it really clicked with me, and I numbed all the way out. So I look forward to everything now. Everything, I dreaded everything, even fun things, social gatherings and stuff. My anxiety would take over, and I would seclude and use and just stick to myself. And now I almost feel like I can do anything. It's just so liberating to be able to trust that inside voice. I can't even put it into words how good it makes me feel, just to know that, you know, I can do things and I can do it. You know, I have everything I need inside of me. People that think you can't have fun without a substance, I would tell them to come here, because you will have fun when you're here and you will be sober. And, you know, that was proof enough for me. And also getting involved afterwards. You know, I plan on going to 12-step meetings. I just do. It's just a good community for me. I like being around sober people. And those guys know how to have fun sober. It's important to get with people who have clean time and that know how to have fun. And you can't be anxious or scared of things that are unknown. You have to be vulnerable and put yourself out there, and you'll be surprised how much you enjoy. Anything that upset me or angered me, especially anything that would put me to the point where I was just like, screw it, and I didn't care about myself or anything else. That's what always pushed me to the point of either relapse or just using in general. It was stressors. I just don't let it bother me as much. The thought of numbing it out, it doesn't even come to me, because I don't let it bother me so much. If somebody bothers me, it's more so their problem now than mine. So yeah, it all connects back to the universal consciousness, the thing that we're all connected to, whatever you may want to call it. We are all connected to something, and when you stop numbing out with substances, you can really feel it, and then you have to trust yourself to know what you're feeling is right. And the way things lined up for me since I've been here and started doing the right thing, I can tell that as long as I'm doing the right thing, things tend to fall in the right place. And when I'm not doing the right things, they don't fall into the right place. It's all about staying in the right vibration, hitting the right frequency with the universe, for me. It sounds
simple, but
it is simple. I got to tell you, it really is simple. If when you talk about it and all the things that come from it and all the insights you hear, it does sound complicated. But like Sydney Banks says, it is simple. You have to just listen to yourself, really, And once you get it, you'll understand the simplicity of it. But then what comes out of it is everything, and that's what makes it sound complicated. It absolutely changed my life being here in Gulf Breeze. Let's see what I want to say about that. There's so much. This place completely changed my life, and if I was talking to somebody on the outside, the best part about this place is I don't even know if drug addiction would come into the conversation, because I'm so much more excited about the way it taught me how to live a better life and to be happy. Yeah, I think when anybody's stuck in addiction, they have what they need inside of them, but like he said, they don't know how to access it. And what other people can do for you is show you that it's working for them. It's kind of a gift that can't be given. It's the best gift and you can't give it, but you can show people that you have it. And if somebody wants it bad enough and is willing to, you have to let go of not what you believe in, but everything that you think about. You have to let all those thoughts go completely out and find what's really there inside of you. I was so far gone that it was easy to let go this time. The 2 other times I went to rehab, I 100% was right where Rich, you're talking about. It was not easy. I couldn't let go of things, and I always had a thought in the back of my mind I'd be able to use again one day. I swear, when I left rehab, one day I'll be fine. My Malamute Cam, she's my baby. I've had her for a long time, and we lived just me and her on 3.5 acres for a long time, so we're really close. And the first time she brought her, I think I'd been here 2 or 3 weeks, and she just looked sad. She just kind of laid down and everything like that. And then the next week she brought my other dog, and then the following week, I guess 4 or 5 weeks, was when I'd been here, when you really start feeling better after the first month. Man, she hopped out of the car with a big smile on her face and was wagging her tail and everything. And I noticed things like that. Now, I never would have noticed that before I came to this program. You have to, you can find the good in most things, and it's easier to pick the bad out and to battle it. But when you let go and surrender, some people don't like that word, but it's what I had to do, and be vulnerable. You notice the good things and you're happy about them. Yeah, like if I was having a conversation with somebody outside of here about it, it would be more so about how happy I am for the future and what it taught me about how to living a better life. I'm not even sure if the drug addiction would come into the conversation unless I was talking to somebody that needed that. So, because this is so much more than that. Yeah, the way I look at it, it took me 28 years to figure out how to live like a child again. I feel that happy and that open to information, like a child now. I don't have any preconceptions of what things are supposed to be. I just know that as things come, I'll internalize them and I can trust myself.